Welcome to DigiByte Technologies, creating value with data. Hello everyone. I am Akanksha from DigiByte Technologies, and today I am excited to introduce a transformative solution for your analytics and AI workloads. Are you looking for a faster and more cost-efficient way to run workloads in Databricks? Then you need to know about Databricks Serverless Compute, the future of simplified big data processing. In the next few minutes, I'll break it all down for you. So let's dive in. Let's start with the basic. Databricks Serverless Compute is a fully managed auto-scaling compute environment designed to run SQL queries, AI models, and ETL pipelines without the hassle of managing infrastructure. Unlike traditional clusters, where you need to configure the number of nodes, cluster types, and wait 5 to 6 minutes for spinning up, serverless is always ready. It's a versionless and fully managed by Databricks, which means upgrades, scaling, and resource allocations are handled automatically, letting you focus on what matters like analytics and innovation. So you must have a question that why you should consider serverless compute. Let's walk you through some of the key benefits. Zero infrastructure overhead. Serverless compute reduces the effort to manage the cluster. Instead of configuring or fine-tuning the cluster, user can focus on data processing, analytics, and insight instead of infrastructure management. Instant availability, which means there is no cluster warm-up time. Queries run immediately, ensuring instant availability and a smooth user experience, especially for interactive workloads where speed is crucial. Effortless scalability. Unlike the traditional clusters, the serverless compute dynamically scales compute resources up and down based on demand, ensuring optimal performance without manual intervention. Enhanced security. Serverless compute is built with best security practices, ensuring data stays protected with fine-grained access controls, network isolation, and encryption for sensitive information. Let us see the Databricks UI and how we can create a serverless compute. So let us go to the compute section. Click on SQL Warehouse and create one. Let me provide the name. Let us choose the size. Let's say a smaller one. Then after 10 minutes of inactivity, the cluster will automatically go into the auto termination state. You can increase or decrease the duration for it. Let me provide the number of minimum and maximum nodes. So maximum number of nodes will only be utilized whenever it is needed. Let us select the type and click on create. So once we create a serverless compute, we also can manage the permission to a user or a group of user, and each user or group of user can have different permission like use, view, monitor, or manage. So that's how we have created our serverless compute. Now, one point which we can observe here is the moment I have created the serverless compute, it is up and ready to be utilized. Now let us see how we can utilize the serverless compute in our notebook. I already created one notebook for it. And let me choose the serverless compute which I have created. Let me attach my notebook to it. So you can see I have already attached my compute to my notebook, and just I'll create a simple employee table using the same compute. I'll insert certain values to the table. And then I'll query my table. So here we can see the employee table has been created. Now we can also see the performance of our query from the from the show performance option which we are getting here. On the right hand side, a panel appears where you can see the entire duration for how long the query has run, then how many rows it has read or how many bytes it has read, or whenever we are writing something, how many bytes it has written, then how many number of files read, all the information. If we go to the C query profile view, So here we have a graph view and the tree view where we can analyze how the execution of our query happens. First, it has scanned by table and then it has read all the rows. So that is all about the analysis for the query which we have executed. Now we will see how we can apply a budget policy to our serverless compute which we have created. Let's go to the settings and go to the compute section. Here we have a policies. We can manage the policies. So serverless budget policies allow the administrator to enforce certain cost attribution tags to the serverless usage. Let's see how we can manage it. Let me create. Let me add a tag value for it. And I have created a budget policy for my serverless compute. So this policy, I will be configuring it while creating my job or while using my serverless compute over the notebook. And this tag will be propagated, or the usage of this serverless compute will be propagated to the system table along with the tag which I have provided. You can see here budget and the value, that is Q1 2025. Now we will see how we can configure a job with a serverless compute. So let us go to the workflow section, and here let us create one job. So I'll be providing the name for my job. Then I'll provide my task name. I'll choose the type as notebook. The source is nothing but my workspace. I'll provide the path for the notebook, which is the same one which I have shown you previously. So that is the path for my notebook. Now coming to the compute section, I can select the serverless or the serverless demo which I have created. Both are the serverless compute. Let me select the serverless one. If we have any parameters to be passed, we can pass it here. Any notification to be sent to any group or any retries we want, we can configure it here. And then let me create my job. Now, once the job is created, on the right hand side, you can see you have an option to choose the budget policy. So I have already shown I created one budget policy, that is serverless budget. Let me attach it to this job and save it. So now what happens is whenever this job will run, in my system tables, this job usage will be recorded along with the custom tag, which I already created in the budget policy, which is helpful in analyzing or monitoring the cost of our job or the usage. So this is how we can use serverless compute at job level. Already I have shown at notebook level. Now let me show at the SQL query editor level how we can use it. So this is the SQL query editor. Let me select and let me run my table. So you can see at the SQL query editor also we can use the serverless compute to query the data, which is helpful when the business users wants to see the data for the data which has been written by the pipeline. So this is how we can use the serverless compute in different areas. The serverless compute are also helpful while we are creating any DLT pipelines or the model serving platforms. So that was all about Databricks serverless compute and how Databricks serverless compute is revolutionizing business process data with no infrastructure headache and just seamless performance. Thank you for your time.